What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Let me say that one more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. Let me entertain you. Booking a lot of weddings. Oh, and since we're breaking out of quarantine, before I talk about this week's shows, today on the program, I'm excited. I have Galit, Ventura, Rozen. Yeah, who's that? You're going to find out in the next few minutes. So stick around. Yeah, you don't want to miss it. Galit, Ventura, Rozen. This week's shows. Well, now that we're breaking out of quarantine, I do have some public shows. But this week I have one public show. That's the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam over at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Yeah, you know the Rab, the best place, the greatest place on the whole wide world. No. All right. It's a great place to go. I always say that. It's your favorite place to be. Do it. Come on out. It's a Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. They got the full bar. The kitchen's open. Pool tables. In fact, they have a pool tournament on Friday night. So if you want to make some money while you're hanging out at the Rab, come on out and play some pool. Get involved in the pool tournament. All right. We are taking some precautions. We definitely have masks as you walk in the door. But once you're seated and you're getting your little drink, you could take your mask down, but if you're going to the bathroom, you put your mask back up and you go walk to the bathroom. And if you're coming up to sing, you don't have to have a mask while you're on stage because you're 12 feet away from everyone, including me. I'm about 6 to 10 feet away from you while you're singing on stage. So we have plenty of hand sanitizer everywhere, handy wipes. But, if you're feeling bad, if you're not feeling good, if you're feeling sick, stay home. Simple as that. We definitely don't want you to, be sick around other people, especially if your immune system is low. Hey, stay home. Stay home. Take care of yourself. We'll all get through this together. All right, party people, come and see me at the Rab Friday night, 8 p.m., Conway, Arkansas. Be there. All right. Let's get into it with Galit Ventura Rozen. I get to see her on Skype. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out the video version. Head over to YouTube and look up RadioWhat.com or username KeysDan. Either way, you're going to find me and you're going to find the lovely Galit Ventura Rozen. Skyping Galit Ventura Rozen now. Move that camera just a little more center. I like
this
your
way?
background.
This way?
To that side?
Which way?
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You're actually fine right there.
Okay, so tell me how you pronounce your name.
I was going to ask you the same thing. No, actually,
Yes,
I watched some of your videos, and I already know it's Galit Ventura Rozen.
You rock.
And this is Keys Dan with the What Makes You Famous
Keys Dan,
podcast.
okay.
Yes. And so, I'm looking at your blurb, and there's lots and lots of stuff to sift through. You are so many things, but I'm going to go ahead and read, standard interview stuff in 3, 2, 1. Read the top of your the top of your website where it says Galit Ventura Rozen, and it has entrepreneur, professional speaker, commercial real estate broker, author, business expert. Easy peasy. Let's travel down those avenues. All right, give the people a little idea of who you are.
Perfect. Do you want me to tell? Oh, I love it. So let's see. I've been an entrepreneur for over 25 years. Started my first business when I was 21 and worked mostly in a male-dominated industry, which I absolutely love. And went back to school when I was 38, decided I wanted to do something more, got my master's in therapy. And then I realized that was not what I was supposed to do, be a therapist. I found out that my bigger calling was I was supposed to show women how they could be successful and have it all. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last 4 years. I still run my commercial real estate business, still work with large investors from all over the world. Love it. I call that my first baby because it's before I had kids. And then my second baby started about 4 years ago, which is the professional speaking, the author, the workshops, the corporate trainings, and all of that.
Fabulous. Galit, Ventura, Rozen. All right, let's go back through it. All right, at 21, you started a business. That's what an entrepreneur does. Is starts a business. What kind of business was it?
The commercial real estate business. I just was getting done with my first degree in business, and I realized that I just did not want to work for somebody. Especially at 21, was so not my personality. I wanted to make my own rules, set my own hours. Of course, as an entrepreneur, you work way more sometimes, but I just love the idea of building my business around my life instead of having my career, my profession be my life. And that's pretty much why I got started in that industry. I also loved the idea of unemotional detachment from what you're doing. So being business and commercial real estate, it's all about the numbers. It's all about what makes sense. So I really liked that because it was very business focused.
Well, I suspect by the end of this podcast, we're going to know everything there is to know about being in business, and especially, you say that you primarily do things for women, but I'm watching your videos. I'm watching your videos on YouTube and Instagram and even on Facebook, and your videos can be applied
Yeah.
to either sex, to anyone, as mostly they're uplifting. They're the one most recent that I saw is you by the pool playing to my one of my favorite songs of all time, "A Lovely Day," and it did make me
Yeah.
smile. And it's you,
Oh,
just with little thought bubbles above you, and you did that previously as well, and you gave away your age. This is something that women, sometimes they don't do, and I never did before I turned 50. I'm 51 now, but as soon as I turned 50, I celebrated my age. So I noticed that you're okay with your age. I mean, how do you feel?
Well, I have a funny story for you. So those videos are from TikTok because I started building a platform. I'm across all social media but Twitter, and someone said you've got to get on TikTok because it's a great place to be positive, inspire, and also I love to dance. So my daughter did that video for me, put in the words, I didn't approve it. She actually made me older by 2 years. And I laughed. I thought it was so funny. Now most women would be horrified. She made me 49 instead of 47. I'm very comfortable with my age. First of all, I feel healthier and more energetic than I have in my entire life. I feel like I look better than I've looked in my entire life. I think we work to own who we are, to find our voice. And a big part of my growth is just like, that's just a number. Really? Seriously? What is it? A number doesn't mean anything to me. So many people give it so much clout. It's just a number. So yeah, I'm very comfortable sharing my age.
Oh, that's
Very.
that's all part of empowerment.
Yeah.
You own that age. Okay, you started. Okay, we all started out as a children. I started out as a child. Have you always lived in Vegas?
32 years.
There. Okay, so that's not all of it. So where were you?
No, California. I'm a West Coast girl, a beach girl right before that. Yeah.
I'm East Side. I'm Miami. Born in Miami.
Yeah, that's beach too.
Absolutely. There's. I think our beach is a little warmer. I've been to the California
It
beaches,
is.
and they're
I'm very
cold,
jealous.
cold, cold. Now, where in California are you from?
I grew up in Redondo Beach. I actually was born in New York, and then I moved to California when I was about 4.5, 5 years old. And then we moved to Vegas when I was 14. So I've lived here quite some time.
How that happened? New York, California, Vegas. Mom and dad,
My
what are they into?
parents followed the opportunities. And so when they moved from New York to California, there was a lot of growth happening at that time. And then they moved from California to Vegas, and then there was a lot of growth happening in that time. So I come from parents that are immigrants. I'm first generation born in America. So my parents were really about the American dream and building it and giving us the opportunities, which they have. So I love the West Coast, though. I don't see myself ever moving from Vegas, but I have to visit the beach once a month because I love the ocean.
Yeah, I'm here in Conway, Arkansas, right in the center, central south, I guess, and I'm nowhere near the ocean. I miss the ocean. I'm starting to dry up. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Big Fish. He had to get in the water every once in a while because he was drying up. So yes, I understand the power of the ocean and how it inspires people. Getting next to the ocean, watching the waves. And I remember my world was blue back then, and now it has turned green being here in Arkansas. So I understand the
Yes.
changes of position as well. So your parents, they came, straight from overseas, immigrants from Europe, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that I saw somewhere in your bio, maybe Morocco or something, or
Yes. So I have people look at me and they laugh because blonde hair, right? Light honey eyes, white as can be. And then I go, oh yeah, what's your culture? And I did those fun DNA tests, right? And I know what my culture is, but I've got Italian in me, Moroccan. I've got Italian, Moroccan, Turkish. I've even got a little Nigerian. It's crazy. And it's because my parents come from these roots. So my grandparents were in Turkey. My other grandparents were in Morocco. And then here you've got this blonde girl over here with all this culture in her. So it's just kind of fun.
yeah, I just heard a podcast about Turkey being kind of the gateway between the East and the West. It's just a very interesting place to be from. Are one of your parents from there, or from where were your mom and dad from?
My
Exactly.
parents are from Israel.
Israel. Wow, totally. I mean, completely
Yeah.
different. I mean, so how did they make their way as they came from Israel? What were they doing in
Just like a
Israel?
lot of people
Yeah.
then, remember this was 48 years ago, and a lot of people then followed family members. And there were a lot of opportunities in America. And my dad was just very hardworking. He was a carpenter, and it was just so much easier then to make your way to America. You got your papers and green card within months. It was a very different time. So yeah, we were all born here. Me and my younger brothers were all born in America.
A carpenter from Israel.
And I love our country.
A carpenter from Israel. I've heard something about that.
Yeah,
There's a story in there somewhere. No,
I'm
really,
sure.
no. But being a carpenter, my goodness, that is hard work. But it's work that's going to it's valuable. You must have gotten that work ethic from your dad. And then what did you
Yes.
get from your mom?
So I actually got such amazing things from both my parents. My mom was always a homemaker, raising four children, and was always involved in everything. But she was really the woman behind the man, which you hear a lot about. And so she was really supportive and pushing, and let's take that risk, and let's do this, and let's do that. My dad ended up building in California, building up literally the biggest cabinet company on the West Coast. And so he went from hard worker, laborer to owning his own business. So I got to watch this growing up. And then my mom put into me the ethics of family time, balance, being at home when you need to. So I'm very blessed because I grew up with both. So as a mom of three, they're not babies anymore, but as a mom of three, and also someone that's worked since she was 15 and a half, I always learned the importance of balance. And that's something I teach my clients as a business coach and as a speaker because I for myself, that was important. So I set the boundaries. You can work 24 hours a day. It's not a problem when you own your own business. And I shut down at a certain time, and weekends are really important, and family days and family dinners and vacations. So that's what I got from mom. From dad, it was work, 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 and work until you get where you want to be. And so I kind of had a balance of both.
No, Galit, you're giving people gems. These are the building blocks of you, where you came from, where you
Yeah.
get your work ethic, and where you're getting the knowledge that you're then imparting to other people in many different ways, not just in the one way where you can do speaking or in writing a book or in doing, selling real estate. But you have all these different avenues where you get to teach the people what you've learned over the years. I mean, how were you in school, in high school? What were your extracurriculars back then?
Oh, nothing too exciting. I think, like most people, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be. When I always do that question, which is really fun. What did you want to be when you were a kid, when you grew up? And I think for a while I wanted to be an interior designer, then I wanted to be an architect, then I wanted to be a psychologist. I started college wanting to be a psychologist. That lasted a month Once they started with the terminology, I'm like, I'm out. And then I switched to a business major, and I found that business gave me the opportunity to pretty much do anything. And that was really what was important to me. Extracurricular activities, I will tell you along the way, since I was a kid, it was leadership positions, lots of stepping in and helping where I was needed, not always being the leader, sometimes being a supporter of the leader, which is a big part of being a leader, and a lot of wanting to make change, impact people in a positive way. So that's kind of been my real goal in life is inspire, motivate, empower, because most people don't have a clue how awesome they are.
Well, did you do a lot of honor guard or some of the
No, no,
government?
I was a dancer. I was always a dancer. So in high school, I was on the teams, the dance teams, the short flag teams. Then it was just clubs, lots of clubs. Also, a lot of philanthropy. It's a heart thing for me.
Yeah.
So since I was young, I always helped and volunteered, and I still do that today on a bunch of nonprofit boards. So I think that when you're younger, you kind of start finding your way, and then when you get older, you can implement those things.
Absolutely, man. Galit, you're talking about the clubs. Brag on some of the clubs you were in.
When I was a kid,
Yeah.
well, I was a Girl Scout probably till I was 12, obviously. And then after that, Key Club, which is all about tutoring little kids and volunteering. I'm trying to think what other ones. It was so long ago.
No, but it feels like it was
I know
long
there were
ago.
more, but I can't think of them right now.
Oh, it feels like it was long ago. I'm 51. I
It
still
really
remember
was.
the glory days of high school. I say glory days. I was still trying to find myself as well. I think I wore Hawaiian shirts back in high school
You
on
too.
some days, and here I am wearing it again. I'm wearing blue. Why? Because it's your favorite color.
It really is. And do you know that today I'm wearing purple? It looks blue in the
it
picture, I think,
it does.
but I actually need to work at not wearing blue because I love it so much. But this is actually purple.
Oh, well, it looks very blue.
I
So
know.
I'm glad it looks
I was
blue.
just looking in the camera, seeing myself going, oh my God, it's because of the light. I think it makes it look blue.
Fantastic. Well, and I'm kind of getting the building blocks, finding out where you came from because you are teaching other people, but people have to know, hey, where did you get that knowledge? And then at 21, you make your way through business. Now, from what I've heard of real estate, you can work for yourself or you can work for other people, or you kind of work for other people while working for yourself. Is that my understanding? Am I getting it right?
Yeah, in all honesty, you're typically, when you're a real estate agent, you're an independent contractor, so you're really self employed. But if you're not a broker, you just work underneath a broker to be supervised. With myself, I became a broker within 2 years of getting licensed because once you have a degree and you have a certain amount of business credits, it's really easy to do that. So I was able to work underneath somebody else for 2 years and then just start my own company.
Oh, that's smart. But you do work well with others.
I do. I obviously, it's in my nature to be a people person. I just think I wasn't in a place where I wanted somebody telling me what I can or cannot do. I don't do very well with being told what I can or cannot do. I prefer that most people don't do well with that. Of course, some of us have to because we work for other people. But in general senses, I prefer not being told what I can and cannot do. So I knew working for someone, and don't get me wrong, I had jobs. From the age of 15 and a half, I probably had 4 or 5 jobs before I graduated college. And I worked for other people and I was very respectful and very appreciative. I just knew I didn't want that in the long term.
Lots of hair nets and name badges, maybe in those.
No, not me. More like my first job, I worked at a fitness center in the daycare. And then my second job, I think I did those. Remember in the days where people used to call you to ask if you wanted to buy photography packages?
I was
I
that
did
guy.
that for a
I did
few
that for
months.
Bally's.
Okay, so I did that for a while.
Uh,
And then, yeah, and then I worked at the mall at a retail store. I worked at a few clothing stores, of course, because I'm a girl and I love clothes. So I just kind of went, then I worked for a real estate agent to learn. So I had a lot of different experiences before I started working on my own.
yeah, but how you said commercial real estate as opposed to selling houses?
Residential.
Yeah, what is the difference? What is
Oh,
commercial real estate?
huge difference. I have banker's hours. Residential agents work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So commercial agents usually work Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, maybe. That's when they're expected. After that, people don't answer the phones. The second part that's really a big difference is there's no emotion involved. In residential, it's very emotional. One of the top three most stressful things to do is purchase a home or sell a home. So there's a lot of emotion involved in homes. With commercial real estate, I'm selling land, apartment buildings, shopping centers, office buildings, and there's no emotion. It's business. So there's a lot of that. That's a big, huge difference. And then the deals take a lot longer to close in commercial than they do in residential. You get paid more because it takes longer and you're dealing with bigger deals.
So the payoff, the reward is better, but it does take a long time to get that.
Typically.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Man, see, I'm learning a little bit more about you and about what you do and what you have done. This is good, Galit Ventura Rozen. And I'm going to say your name quite a bit because I want the listeners to have it stuck in their heads. So we're zooming through. At 21, you have your real estate. And how long did that go?
Oh, I still have my company. It's been 25 years now. Oh, and I love it. It'll always be something that I do. I still work with large investors on a daily basis, and I have 13 agents in my office, and it's something that it's just something I've always done, and I'm good at it. When you're good at something, it's not smart to stop doing it, especially if you love it. So I love it and I'm good at it, and you are financially doing well. So it's something that I would always do.
Man, and I've heard of entrepreneur. That word, it seems like you make something and then you sell it, and then you go make something else. But you made something, you kept it, and then you made something else too.
Yes.
So when did that something?
I just keep adding to it. I have probably 4 or 5 different companies now.
Exactly.
And I love it. And I just keep adding. I haven't closed anything down yet. We'll see. But for right now, I'm just going to keep building and adding. And I have an inspirational jewelry line based on my book. I have a women's movement called Everyday Woman that I started 6 months ago. I have a company called Empowering University that goes into corporations and does corporate training. I do business and speaking coaching. I mean, it's just fun. I think for me, Dan, everything is about being about fun. And I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. If you're not having fun, seriously, anybody listening, don't get me wrong. You need to have a paycheck. You need to support your family, but please find something fun to start doing too. I have a lot of people that call me and they're like, Galit, I want to work with you. I got to keep my job to pay my bills, but I want to start something fun that makes money. And I said, let's do it. You can do both. And then hopefully at some point you can let go of what you don't want to do anymore and do more of what you want. But it's very, very possible.
Absolutely. You're giving me hope. You're giving the people hope that they can get their dreams, and make their dreams come true. But Galit, at 21, you started that business. When did you start getting employees? And then when did the next avenue branch out? What was the next thing that you did?
Right away. I started recruiting agents right away. Probably within 8 years, I had 13 agents at that time. I continued. We made it through the recession at that time. It was like 2007, 2008. We shifted a little bit and then we came back stronger. We're still in existence now. After that, the next avenue was around 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago. I thought, oh, wait, there's something more. You know, that something more we get. And that's when I went back to school and got my master's degree. I graduated 5 years ago. And I went back to school full time online with an accredited program. And I decided I wanted to get my master's. It's so amazing how life works because at first I thought I was supposed to be a therapist, started seeing therapy clients part time. I was never giving up my business, my commercial real estate. And I realized that I was supposed to learn that so I can show people how to change their behaviors and their mindset. And that was a big part of my book, The Successful Woman's Mindset, because you can change your behaviors. You choose, big word for me, choose. You can choose. Once you're aware of something you want to change, you can choose to change it and then make a plan to do it. And what a lot of people do is they become aware and then they stop. Or I want to change this, and then they don't make a plan. So I just believe that as human beings, we're so capable of so much more than we do, and we are. But I think we get comfortable and we settle. And then you wake up one day when you're 80 or 90 and you have all these regrets. Well, my goal in this life is to show as many people as I can not to have regrets, to try everything, whatever you, as long as it's safe and it's in the structure of the law, please try it.
You
I
got
love
that right.
those disclosures. I'm sorry.
That's good. Thanks for all the disclaimers. I appreciate that. Want to keep people safe here on the What Makes You Famous podcast
Please.
for sure. Thank you, Galit, Ventura, Rozen. And now you say you started. Funny, when you said that you started in school in psychology. Yeah, I took psychology 101, just enough psychology to mess me up for the rest of my life. Now I'm looking at people. Why are you doing that? Why are your arms crossed? Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh
Trying
no.
trying to figure things out. But I've been trying to figure people out my whole life, just talking to people and learning from people. I've been doing radio since 86. So,
Wow.
I've had the opportunity to interview hundreds, maybe thousands of people. I haven't counted them,
Amazing.
but certainly, this is a lot of fun learning from you. But you went back to school and you said you went online. I'm guessing because you had a family. Now,
Family, full business. Yeah.
a lot of people would poo-poo an online school, but guess what, baby? Everybody's doing it online right now, aren't they?
And I have to tell you, there's so many great accredited universities, and that one was specifically accredited for my major, and it was the only one in the country at the time. And so I made sure I chose the one that was accredited. But I think that we really discredit online universities and don't realize that today you can go to school online with Harvard. I mean, Yale, like go online and look and don't discredit it because there's so much you can do from the house on your own time. And it was perfect for my life. Once a week, I had a paper I had to turn in, I had reading I had to do. Then we met with professors online. It just made a lot of sense.
Yeah, never stop learning. Find the school that's
Never.
got the right fit. Now, what school was that? Maybe people can,
I went to North Central University.
and that's an online school.
Yeah, it's actually they have a campus in Arizona, but they also offer an online program.
I've heard there's a lot of campuses in Arizona, isn't? There's like a Phoenix,
Yeah,
Arizona.
there are quite a few. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah. Well, I guess maybe they come from California. It's
Maybe.
good. It's still good. You got the nice weather. Yeah, I could see that. But no, you never had to go to a campus. You did everything online from home.
I only went to the campus for my graduation.
You did.
Yeah,
That's cool. Uh,
yeah.
so when did the family start?
Oh gosh, I started a family when I was 24.
Was that a little bit early or what? No, that sounds great.
Well, it's considered early, but it rocks when you're my age and you have adults for children 16, 20, almost 21, and 23. And
Yeah.
it's so much fun to grow up with your kids. So I have friends that had kids at 40, which I think is awesome. And I have friends that had kids in their 20s. And I think you got to do what's good for you. No judgment.
Yeah, I am just glad. I'm
Yeah.
happy when it works out. My goodness, that is fantastic. I've met high school sweethearts that are still together after 30, 40
I
years, and
know.
I'm like,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah, baby. For most people, my advice, my personal, is do whatever you want in your 20s, and then by the time you're 30, start to settle down. If you're thinking about going that
If
way,
that's for you,
but
absolutely.
it works. It works for everyone has to choose their own path, and I'm so glad it worked for you. So you have
Oh,
3 kids, and I noticed on one of the videos you had the dogs, and it sounds like you have a good family life, and that's a
I
good.
do. I have a lot of animals. I'm crazy. I have 3 dogs, 2 bunnies, and a conure.
What's a
And
conure?
yeah, a conure's a bird. It's like a little tiny parrot almost. It's my daughter's companion animal. It's a really amazing animal. Yeah, a little tiny bird. Look it up. You're gonna just freak out when you look at it.
What's a companion animal?
It's one that's it's the kind of animal that really just needs a lot of attention and love and takes care. Like I don't know how to explain it except for that. Almost like if you had a dog that was a special needs dog, it's kind of similar.
That's cool. I mean, and she's
Yeah,
able to take it with her wherever she needs to go.
everywhere. Yep, everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard
Yeah,
something about where people will keep a bird with them if they're taking trips or if they're going on planes, and that's cool if it makes you feel
yeah.
good while you're
Just
doing it.
another part of the family. We have a really big family.
That's neat. I had a bird growing up. It made so much noise.
Yeah,
Ah.
they do. They absolutely do.
All right. Well, I mean, continuing forward, What was the next avenue? You said you branched out.
So, about 4 years ago, 3.5 or 4 years ago, I felt like I wanted to start putting on some kind of workshops, seminars, and coaching to show women how they can get out of their way and accomplish their own goals and be successful. And when I say successful, I'm talking about in your own right. Okay. I speak in my book about how success is defined by you. What does it mean to you? And first define that before you go run after it. For some people, it's working 7 days a week and having millions of dollars. For other people, it's working 3 days a week and staying home with their three little kids. For other people, I mean, it can mean so many different things. It could be executives or it could be a stay at home mom. So I wanted to show women specifically because I felt like women really needed the mentors. I wanted to show women that they can have the life that they want and desire. And that's when I started Empowering You, which is my other company. And I wanted to just show women this is how you can do it. And I do a lot of videos, a lot of fun stuff, free stuff. Not everybody hires me. I only have so much time in the day to work. But I want them to follow and get inspired and motivated and learn as much as they can.
Oh yeah, I mean, I note that your mom was a stay at home mom, the hardest job in the whole wide world.
It
Uh,
is
you
because you
know,
don't get to leave it.
no, I mean,
There's
dad
no
dad
there's
was
no vacation from it.
yeah, dad was working his carpentry. I work outside of the house, and I do things around and I bring home money for the family. My wife, she stays home with the kid. Hardest job in the world. Do I want to switch places? No, no. So I give it up to her. That's fantastic. But you were able to, even on top of being a great mama, and I'm guessing you're a great mama because those kids are
I
still,
really am. It's
yeah,
my job in the world.
yeah, because those kids are still living, and that's pretty much all you got to do is make sure they stay alive until a certain age. But not only that, but you were able to follow some of your dreams and make your
All of
own
my
way through. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have one thing that I haven't done that I've wanted to do so far. And if I haven't done it, I will do it.
Oh,
It's just an attitude. It's just a mindset. And I recognize more than anything that the only way that I'm going to have the life that I want and desire, and I'm always reaching higher, it's just my personality, is by getting out of my comfort zone every single day. Because when you're in your comfort zone, change doesn't happen and nothing happens. And so I've just gotten used to the heart beating out of the chest and the pumping and the sweating palms. It's a lot less now. But I've just learned that that's just my life and that's what I do. So, yeah, I've been very blessed, but I've worked really hard for it. You do need to work for it. You need to align yourself with the right people. I surround myself with amazing people all the time. If it's like minded communities of men and women, CEOs, like minded women in masterminds, whatever it might be. But it's so possible. And I just think that when we're growing up, not everybody is shown that it's possible.
Galit, you just said it. You're successful. You've followed all your dreams and you've achieved your dreams. That's success. That's the definition
Yeah,
of
for
success
me
right
it
there.
is. That's my definition. But everybody's is different. Some people it's I want to have a family, that's success. I want to have $1 million, that's success. You know what? There's no wrong answer. It's all right. It's about what you want and it's about how you're going to get it. And it's about not falling asleep and being a driver in your own life and basically just going for it. And that's one of the things I want everybody listening. Just choose one thing you're going to do different today. One thing. And it's like this domino effect. Take one step today. And people say, I don't have time. I don't have time. And do you know what I say to them? How many hours a week do you spend watching Netflix? And
Hmm.
then they just be quiet. Oh, wait, you do have time. And by the way, I'm not knocking it. I love Netflix and I watch it every day, but I don't watch it instead of something. I watch it in addition. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Instead of watching
It's my
Netflix,
go
I
to.
do a podcast with you, Galit
Yeah,
Ventura Rosen, and I pick your brain and I find out more and put some more knowledge into this head. And then my listeners might benefit from some of the words that you're imparting, some of the knowledge
I
that
hope
you're
so.
sending out to the universe. You say you were talking about nerves a little bit earlier, and I wanted to follow that. You were
Sure.
working for a company selling commercial property, and then you decided to branch out and make your own company. How nervous were you on that first endeavor?
Well, I think I was too young to know better. Sometimes age works for you because when you're young, you're fearless, right? When you're in your 40s, I think we double think things more. When I was in my 20s, I was like, oh, yep, market was at the top right then and it was doing really well. So it made sense. And I started in a really tiny office. I think there were two of us for quite a while. And then, okay, well, we need a secretary. Okay, wait, I need a marketing. Okay, wait, I need a manager. So I didn't do it all at once, which, by the way, I believe in doing it slowly because sometimes when you go too big, too fast, you've seen it, then it fails. It happens a lot. So I grew it slowly. It didn't happen overnight. But I think the nerves probably were based on the things you don't know. And that's a big one for people. What do I not know? Because I don't know everything. And then what I did was I learned pretty quickly what I don't know and then find someone that did. And that's a big one to take away from today if anyone's listening. A lot of people stop because they don't know the how. There's always someone that knows the how.
Now,
That's
was the real estate on the job training or was that school?
real estate. So you do need to go to real estate school, but it's only 40 hours. It's not like this huge degree. I think it was trial and error, but I made sure that I also took as many classes as I could in addition so I could learn about contracts, I could learn about things. I also think that I had a business mindset pretty quick just because it was ingrained in me from such a young age. So some of the things I just tried, and if they didn't work, you tried something else. For me, failing was like part of learning and part of my success. Because if I didn't fail, I didn't know what didn't work. So then I couldn't figure out what worked. And so I didn't have a fear of failure, right? That's a big one for people, fear of failure. For me, I was like, okay, I failed. Let's go again. It's kind of like when we were little and we fell off the bike and kept getting back on.
Yeah.
People don't do that when it comes to life. They give up or they walk away instead of continuing to try. So if you remember the getting back on the bike scenario, it'll help you keep trying.
Now, what did you? Everybody's made of rubber when they're in their 20s. They got Wolverine powers. You'll bounce back, no problem.
Yes.
But what did you feel that you were lacking when you went back to school at 40? What did you feel? Hey, I'm missing some knowledge
I don't
here.
think I was missing knowledge. I think that after being in my business already for about 17 years, I did what most people do in the midlife. I was 30. I think I went back to school at 38. So midlife, right? Well, wait, what else do I want to do? Is there something else I'm supposed to do? A lot of people do that. So I went through it and I thought about it, and something told me I was supposed to help people. So the most logical thing for me to do was get my master's degree in therapy because that's what felt like a logical step for me. That's probably why I did it. And then, of course, after so many years, you lose a little passion for what you're doing. So I lost a little passion for my real estate, never stopped doing it because it's not smart to stop. But then I found it's really interesting because once I went back to school, once I started this new business about empowering people and coaching them, I actually found a new passion for my commercial real estate. And I realized how much I love helping people there too. So it all just kind of connected and helped me.
Now you say therapy. What kind of therapy? There's different kinds of
I
therapy.
went to school to learn marriage and family therapy. So it's like a psychologist, but a degree below. It's a master's, and it's called an MFT. So it's basically like a regular therapist that you would go and you would speak to about your problems.
And have you taken the plunge? Talk to
I
people
did
through.
600 hours to get my degree, and then I did another year afterwards of 20 hours a week. And then when I started doing this business that I started, the Empowering You business, I found that it wasn't my calling to sit in an office and see one client at a time, which, by the way, therapists are amazing and I highly recommend them for everybody. So healthy. But I didn't find that as my calling. So I ended up taking my degree and realizing I could use what I learned in my speaking, in my motivating, in my writing, in my videos. You see a lot of it in my videos because a big piece of growth is working through your crap and realizing you got it. Because if you don't realize you got it, you can't work through it. So I learned so many models of therapy in school. And it was so great for me to learn that. I'm so glad I did. Even though I'm not a practicing therapist today, it was worth every penny of that master's degree. And they're not cheap, but it was worth it because of how much I walked away with.
No, I mean, when I first started going to psychology, I thought maybe I'd be a psychiatrist or some kind of therapist as well. But then, then I realized that most psychiatrists need psychiatrists because of all the
Oh,
problems they're dealing with people's problems all day long.
Psychiatrists are very different than therapists. Psychiatrists really deal with the diagnosed disorders.
Sure.
Therapists deal with the more generalized. And so it's a little bit less intensive, but you're absolutely right. I can see that.
Oh, you're dealing with people's problems and you have the weight of them. You don't want to steer them the wrong way. So I can feel that you probably had, oh my goodness, that guy really had a
Never,
big problem. And
never
you
did.
felt like you could always figure out a way to kind of help them through.
Never. I never felt that way. If you feel that way, if anybody ever feels that way, they shouldn't practice in that field. You've got to be able to separate the two. And I'll give you a perfect example.
Please.
During the time I was in school and started seeing clients for therapy, I was going through a divorce. And at the same time that I was going through a divorce, I was seeing couples on my couch working to save their marriages. Somebody might say, how did you do that? Well, you separate the two. One has nothing to do with the other. My marriage not working had nothing to do with the fact that I wasn't a kick butt therapist and I was able to help people save marriages because I couldn't save mine. That's a issue in our brains. It takes two people to save something, and two people weren't working at it in mine. But on my couch, two people were working at it 50% of the time because that's how it works with divorce, right? So that's a perfect example that even when I'm working with people today on their mindset, on finding, overcoming challenges, on starting their own businesses, you separate yourself. You can't take that stuff home. It'll make you physically sick. You just can't do it.
I imagine so, Galit. Because oh my goodness, and you were talking about the divorce. I'm sorry it happened. I'm happy it happened.
That's okay. It was quite a few years ago now.
Exactly. Because some people are just not meant to be together, and you, as a therapist, are trying to help people. I guess therapists shouldn't be jamming couples together that should not be together. You should be able to have that wherewithal to go, maybe you guys should be apart because you're volatile.
Well, it doesn't really, when I was practicing, it really doesn't work that way. It works to where the couples make all the decisions themselves. You just help them through it. So when you're on it, when you're in the seat and people are talking to you, you never give them your opinion. You just help them through it. That's probably another reason why I stopped being a therapist. I'll give you a really funny story. When I was a therapist, I wanted to say to people, get over it. And you can't do that as a therapist. And I remember going to my supervisor, because you have to have a supervisor. And I'm like, well, she told me she has problems and she's 35 because of her dad. I told her to get over it. They're like, Lee, you can't do that. What do you mean? So then when I left therapy and I became a coach, I can tell people that now. I can say, they're like, oh, well, I'm too scared to do this. I go, you hired me for this. So listen, do you want this to hold you back or not? Well, then you need to get over it. Now, of course, I give them tools to get over it, but you can't do that as a therapist. And that was another problem I had because I felt like some people need the therapy couch, but some people just need to be told as it is. And I wanted to be the girl that told them as it is.
Yeah, my grandfather gave me a swift kick in the pants. That's all I needed. Get out there, go figure it out.
Yes.
You're overweight.
Yes.
Go get in the gym. Swift kick in the pants. You need a job. Go get a job. That kind of thing. But yeah, I can feel it. I still take that with me as well. That kind of advice. You can coddle some people. You can kind of empathize with their problems, where they're at
That's
at this
exactly
particular time.
what you do in therapy. That's why it's so different than what I do now. I don't see clients for therapy anymore. I haven't now for about 2 years, but I know the behavioral ways to change behaviors and your mindset. And so sometimes I'll throw in the tools, but I do not practice therapy anymore because I'm not licensed to do it anymore.
Yeah, but these are the building blocks of where you are right now, how you're helping people right now. So you gave that up, 4 years ago, something like that?
I stopped seeing clients, let's see, graduated 5 years ago, probably about 3 years ago.
About 3 years ago. And then the turn, What happened 3 years ago? What was the turning point?
So at the same time that I stopped seeing clients, my coaching business started exploding. And I started putting on workshops for women. And then I started getting, again, how to accomplish your goals, how to get out of your own way, how to build your own business, how to be a speaker, professional speaker. And then people started asking me to be a speaker. And so I do my coaching, and then all of a sudden I started getting asked. So last year in 2019, I traveled probably to 20 different places to speak. And it was an amazing journey. This year, I've been able to speak virtually. I've gotten hired to speak virtually. I get paid. And so I somehow or another, the girl that never wanted to be on stage as a young girl, the girl that did her dangest to I hated giving presentations. I hated getting up in front of classes. I'm being honest. It's funny what ends up happening. You end up doing the one thing you didn't want to do. It's just how life works. And now I love it. Like I wait for it. When do I get to share? When do I get to motivate? I speak a lot about business and mindset and leadership and all these fun things, communication, and I love it. Like now I just wait for it.
Well, still, as a kid, you were part of a team when you did your dancing. And I remember one of your videos says, take a step back, take a step forward. You can,
Yes,
that were you the take a step back? Well, we may start that way where you're kind of timid, you're kind of afraid to do things. But as you gain experience, which you have done over the years, you can take that step forward. You can
right.
take charge, be the leader, help people in that way. And that, I mean, yeah, once you get to a certain age and you get some knowledge under your belt, you got to impart that knowledge. And that's what you started doing over 3 years ago. But really, 3 years ago, you put full force into it. And what were those first seminars like? Those first, were they one on one?
They
Were
were
they one on
very
50?
successful. That's how I knew what I was supposed to do. When you're trying something and it's quickly successful and it's like, I call it effortless and it just kind of flows, that's when you just kind of go with it. So even though in your mind it might be like, oh no, I can't do this. Am I crazy? What am I thinking? Ignore it. Because if it's easy and effortless, please keep doing it. Sometimes we second guess things because we have this idea in our head that everything has to be so hard. And it really doesn't. It could be easy. So it was just easy. I planned my first workshop probably a month after I started the new business, had 25 women. It was a paid one, made $1,000, $1,500. I'm like, oh, this is fun. And I just kept at it. Then I started getting hired for private coaching, and that was fun. And it just keeps going. And now it's just going and going. People hire me for all kinds of different fun things.
Well, that's the problem, Galit, Ventura, Rozen. Once you do one good job, they're going to keep calling you and calling you.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
happened back in '86.
Yeah.
I did a wedding, and they just keep calling me and calling me up till now. I think I'm getting too old for this.
I love that.
And then I do another party or another wedding. No, not too old for this. I'm enjoying it. So
That's all
yes,
that matters. As
keep
long as
going.
you enjoy it, you keep doing it.
Exactly. So when did this book start? When did you?
I published my book December 2018. So what happened was an organization, a business organization, a women's business organization asked me to speak, and we were coming up with topics, and I came up with this topic and the successful woman's mindset. And I did a talk for an hour, and then people kept coming up to me at other events saying how much they enjoyed my talk, which made me realize I was supposed to write a book about it so I could share it. And so an hour talk turned into a 215-page book, first book I ever wrote. Not the best writer in the world, not knocking me. I'm sharing this because you don't have to be a writer to write. And I wrote every word myself. I didn't get a ghostwriter or anything because I wanted it to be in my voice. And so it's a very simplistic, very straight to the point, gives you all kinds of activities on success, ways to get over certain things. And that was what was next.
But how long did it take to write that book?
You know what? People ask me that all the time, and I couldn't even tell you. It didn't take very long. I probably did it in 4 or 5 months and not even full time. I'm so busy. And sometimes when you're busy, it's good because you got to carve out the time. So I just carve out an hour, carve out 2 hours, right when I was on vacation. It just came together so quickly. And the editing probably took longer than the writing.
But as a busy person, how do you write a book? Do you speak it? Do you type it? Do you
I love
handwrite
that.
it all the way out?
I love that question. The first thing that you do is you write out the titles of the chapters. First thing you do. Don't do nothing else. Second thing, you decide how do you write best and when do you write best. I'm a morning girl. Early, pin drop, quiet, get on the computer. I did a combination. I spoke and I wrote it because I speak differently than I write. It's so weird. And I found that when I spoke it and then edited it, I was getting way better material than when I wrote it. But you got to figure out what works for you. Everybody's different. And then you've got to set aside timetables in your calendar. You can't do the all right next week. You have to, I would take full days. And I couldn't write for more than a few hours at a time. So I would do it, walk away, then come back. You get tired, don't keep doing it.
No, you got to give yourself a schedule. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have my own business as well. Yes, and I could work 24 hours a day just like you do, but you have to take the time. And you've already said that you made a schedule to where, look, I'm going to stop working now, and now it's family time. This is
Yes.
good. This is
You
very
have
good.
boundaries.
How you fit it all in. You know, people look at you and they'll look at your website and look at some of your videos and go, how does she fit all that in? How does she
I get
put?
asked that a lot.
Well, how do you fit it all in?
I went and spoke in Montreal last year for a leadership conference, and I was quite surprised, and this sticks with me. One of the women in the audience said, something's got to give. Because I was talking about, I love to cook, and I go on vacation, and whatever, it doesn't matter, all the stuff we talked about. And she said, something's got to give. And of course, I didn't respond because it would have been rude. But what I wanted to respond is, no, something does not got to give. That's a mindset. You think if you're good at this, you got to suck over here. That's not true. You can be good at a lot of stuff. So time management is the key. That's the question. The answer, excuse me, time management. And some of my videos talk about that, as you know, on my blog and on TikTok and Instagram. But you've got to know how to prioritize your time. Too many people allow too many distractions. And when the end of the day comes, you look back on your day, you feel like you got nothing accomplished. So I'm a list girl. I make lots of lists. I prioritize my lists. I'm an appointment girl. You don't speak to me unless we have an appointment. Not to be rude, but I'm busy. So if you text me and you've got to set up an appointment, or you email me, I say, no problem. I'm available on Tuesday at 3. I don't stop everything I'm doing to speak to you. If it's a client, absolutely. That's different because we're selling the property or they hired me. That's different. But even my clients have boundaries. They're not allowed to private message me. They're not allowed to text or call me. They email me. So you've got to set up your life with boundaries. You've got to know, people laugh. I get no notifications on my phone. We're sitting here, it hasn't beeped once.
Nope.
Not one notification.
Zero.
No social media, no email. The only thing I get on my phone is if you text me, because only my family texts me. If I get a text, I look at it, oh, it's my family, or nope, it's not important, I put it back down. So you've got to stop the distractions, you've got to prioritize, and you've got to set goals. If you're constantly saying yes to things and you're not getting anywhere, you're wasting away. If you set goals and all of your yeses are directly related to your goals, you're on. So I had to learn how to say no.
Excellent. And you told me about the notifications, and then I go, yeah, I'm doing that right. I turn off all my notifications. And if I want to look at Twitter and waste some time, there I do it. But not too much time. You want to keep that stuff to the side. Make some more time for stuff like this, to where you can learn stuff from people, have a real, genuine conversations with people. This is something that it's for me, more than anything else. And the reason I do this is definitely to gain knowledge, and I mean it gives you promotion as well. And so
Oh, yes. I love, one of my goals in life is to have as big of a reach as I can. I mean, the only reason I'll say no to an opportunity like this is if it's some kind of base or forum that I don't believe in, right? I'm not going to go on a political show because I'm not political. I'm not going to go on a religious show because I believe everybody should have their own religion. Like, I'm one of those people that loves to do this because I think that we need to share what we know. We shouldn't hide it and keep it to ourselves. I'm a big believer in that. Great. So everything I know is going to go to my grave with me. What did I accomplish? I only accomplish things if I teach as many people as I can what I know. That's kind of how I am.
Yeah.
And when you said learning every day, I want to learn for the rest of my life. So I'm teaching and then I'm learning and then I'm teaching and then I'm learning. And it's a great, great system.
Well, I give people this forum to talk about whatever they want. So yes, if they talk about religion, go. If they talk about
Yeah,
politics,
you're okay with
go.
that.
Yeah, I'm fine. Who you want to vote for, that's fine. Whatever. I live right here down the middle, a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, and we're good. Everybody's happy. Just
I love
everybody
it.
pretty much wants the same thing, and it seems like you've gotten those things, but through hard work. It's through every fault of yours that you have gotten where you are today. And you wrote a book. My goodness, that's an accomplishment. Oh, and when I tell people that I read books, I mean I listen to them on audio. Have you made an audio version?
I have not. I love Audible. And I started recording my book and then I got sidetracked. It wasn't the priority. So I put it aside for now, but I've been asked for it and eventually I will. I really wanted it in my own voice. I could hire someone, it's not expensive, but I really wanted it in my own voice. And so it'll probably happen
Oh yeah.
eventually, but for right now, it just wasn't a priority.
Well, take a week out and read your book and put your own inflection in there. And then some of these books, some of the audio books, my favorite ones are the ones they give little sidetracks. Maybe the book that you wrote, there's some changes that you would have made even now as you're reading it. You go, oh yeah, I was doing that. The side notes. So it becomes kind of like a podcast while you're reading it. So yeah, I definitely would like you to put that on your list. Read
It's on
book.
there.
Yeah, read book for audio version. Yes.
It's been on there since I wrote it.
All right. Well, Galit, Ventura, Rozen, I've learned a little bit about you. My listeners have learned a little bit about you. How do they get a hold of you?
I am on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and my website at the same name all across, Galit Ventura Rozen. So if you put the full name, you can find me, you can Google me. When you want to be seen, you do not hide. When you want to help others, you can be found, right?
GalitVenturaRosen.com. She likes to be Googled. I like to be Googled. No, and right there at the top of the fold is what they used to say in the newspaper business is all the links to all your various. Well, your TikTok's not there. You need to get you.
I know that's new. Oh my
That's
God, I
new.
only joined that 4 weeks ago. And I actually told my website designer, I go, you need to add that. But it was such a new platform. And by the way, I'm having so much fun because I've danced my whole life. And what a great group of positive people on that platform.
Pretty controversial platform because
Yes.
it's owned by the Chinese, but I don't think
Yes.
that has any basis of malice just because it's owned by the Chinese. But that's just me. I'm a
Yeah,
moron.
what will be. But for right now, everyone's going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. As the people are quarantined in this time of COVID, people are finding new ways to create creative outlets, and that's definitely a way. It's been
It really
downloaded
is.
more
It's fun.
times than any other app in the world right now. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're having fun with it. It's something you could do with the kids. I guess is what is a 16-year-old that's helping you out with that?
Yeah, my kids haven't been on it yet. I'm trying to convince her because she's a dancer. So I've got to get there, but she's helping me with recording and there's a lot of writing because most of my videos are inspirational and motivational and give tips because I'm really big about trying to share as much. And it just gave me another platform to share positivity and share what I know.
Oh, they make me smile for sure. And
So
and you're empowering women. I'm no woman, but I'm having a good time
I
watching the
have so
videos.
many men that join our workshops and forums, and I love it because I say this is a man supporting women. So men are always welcome. My focus has been women because I feel like that niche really could use it and benefit from it.
Okay, well, one political thing. All right, Biden. He says he wants to pick a woman of color. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to be really honest with you. I I am so naive and so uninformed when it comes to politics
Yeah.
because I'm such a positive, non-conflicting person. So you will never see a political post on any of my social media. And one time I was interviewed on the news during the Me Too movement, and all I said was that I do not believe this will affect women negatively getting jobs. And oh my gosh, you should have seen the messages I got. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be on the news anymore.
Oh,
So
it's divisive.
I,
Yeah.
I think that any person that takes a woman as a candidate is a positive for a woman. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what side. I think that women rock, and I think we make great everything.
As long as she's qualified, I'm okay
How's
with it.
that?
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Keep empowering women. All right. Well, I've taken a little bit of your time. Hopefully, this is not the last time that we talk, and I'll keep following you on all your social media.
Yes,
And
please.
yeah, you got a new subscriber on your YouTube and your Facebook and all that. It's me. That's right.
Thank you.
And usually I finish these things off with last words for the people. This can be some words of advice that you heard long ago from, maybe a relative or somebody that, some words that you live by, or it could just be whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Galit, Ventura, Rozen, last words for the people.
Yeah, my last words would probably be stop waiting for the perfect time to try something or do something that you want, because the time will never be perfect.
Well, there you have it, party people. Galit Ventura Rozen. See, I knew she helped people. But I had to find out what made her able to help people. And she had the building blocks from her mom and dad who came over from Europe. I'm guessing with not much. Dad was a carpenter and mom, stay at home. So he had to work his way through. He gave her that work ethic. She saw him building a business, coming up from not much to owning his own carpentry business. So there you go. And then just those building blocks and having mom staying at home, primarily taking care of the kids, showing those values. Yeah, that's where you get it. That's where you get all that knowledge. I love it. I love it. Everybody has a story. And Galit Ventura Rosen, you definitely have a story. Keep on helping people. And primarily women, but the men are gonna benefit. And we're always trying to figure you out. I'll tell you. So we watch women that are trying to empower other women and figure out what do these women want, because we're confused, or at least I am. Okay, maybe not all of us, but I'm confused. I've been trying to figure out women, but I want to make my woman happy. I do. All right, party people. Thank you so much once again, Galit Ventura Rosen, for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. If you, yes, you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, as I record this, I guess it's July 15th, I have Jennifer Malott taking over the Radio What Facebook page. She's going to be doing a little concert for you at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, taking over the Radio What Facebook page. So don't miss that. I'll share it everywhere. So hopefully people she gets some new listeners, some new followers, and new people that get turned on to Jennifer Malott's music. So kind of excited about that. People helping people. All right, that's it for me. The What Makes You Famous podcast. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.